The bell has rung. Class is in session. Today we will examine our second brain, the intestines. We will learn about our intestines, which science has focused on heavily in recent years, and which have a major impact on the weight loss journey, fascinating us the more we discover them. Let's look together at why we call them the second brain and how they can have such a massive impact on our mood, our weight, and our lives. Possessing real health is hidden within our gut microbiota. The more we manage that area, the cleaner we keep it, and the better we can understand the ecosystem there, the healthier we are. I am going to take you back to biology class for a bit. We actually know our intestines as an organ that serves to digest food and excrete waste from the body. This is correct but incomplete. At the same time, there are nearly 500 million nerve cells located around our intestinal walls. And let me give you another piece of information. The reason the scientific world calls the intestines the second brain, namely the enteric nervous system, is actually the presence of this many neurons in the gut. And this organ, called the second brain, can make decisions and manage digestion completely independently of our first brain. Now, do you think these two brains act independently of each other? Of course not. There is what we call the vagus nerve, which starts from the brain, extends to many internal organs, and is the longest nerve in the human body. Previously, this nerve was thought to be a one-way street, but science has shown us that it is two-way. In other words, the intestines and the bacteria living there send messages to our brain every single second. And these messages manage our mood, our stress levels, our energy, and what we want to eat. Let's look a bit at how the bacteria here affect our microbiota. Living inside our intestines, weighing nearly 2 kilograms, there is a massive ecosystem made up of trillions of bacteria, viruses, and fungi. The name of this ecosystem is the microbiota. In our intestines, bacteria live at a density at least 3 times greater than the cells, meaning human cells, found in our body. This vast and gargantuan bacterial army is divided into two: beneficial bacteria and harmful bacteria. Beneficial bacteria are those that feed on fibers, vegetables, and fermented foods. They produce vitamins for our body, protect our immune system, and keep us full. Beneficial bacteria ease digestion and produce the essential substances that the body needs. Harmful bacteria are those that feed on sugar, flour, packaged and industrial foods. They destroy the intestinal wall and constantly plunge you into those fake sweet cravings just to survive. They weaken immunity and increase inflammation. These bacteria are not just consumers. They are living things, and they want to survive and multiply. To protect gut health, maximizing the number of beneficial bacteria is the ultimate goal. When the number of harmful bacteria in the intestines increases, they send powerful chemical signals to the brain via the vagus nerve to obtain sugar and simple carbohydrates, which are their own food sources. This is where dopamine, which we call the wanting mechanism in the brain, is triggered. And for no reason at all, you can suddenly find yourself craving chocolate. What is experienced here is not a sweet tooth or a lack of willpower. It is the sheer abundance of sugar-dependent bacteria along with the signals they send to the brain just to feed themselves. Whichever bacterial species you feed more, its demands will travel to the brain more frequently. The first thing we need to do in this system is a gut cleanse. You must have heard it a lot on social media. Those who apply miraculous teas, detox juices, or fasting camps saying, "Let's do a gut cleanse." I do not find these kinds of practices correct. Now, if you ask what science says about this topic, it states that such temporary solutions are never a complete fix. On the contrary, those herbal teas and aggressive detoxes can damage that delicate mucus layer on your intestinal wall, killing the beneficial bacteria and causing harm. A real and scientific gut cleanse, of course, does not come from mechanically washing the intestines. It comes from regulating the microbiota balance in the gut. It comes from starving the harmful bacteria, reducing their numbers, and strengthening the intestinal wall by increasing the beneficial bacteria. In medical terms, this is called transitioning from a state of dysbiosis, gut imbalance, to eubiosis, healthy gut balance. With a gut cleanse, the number of harmful bacteria decreases, providing true cellular peace and appetite control. Let's examine step by step how we are going to do a gut cleanse. Phase 1. What are the fuels of harmful bacteria? Refined sugar, artificial sweeteners, white flour, and packaged foods. Minimizing these foods is the rule of the first phase. If you gradually stop consuming these foods, harmful bacteria cannot feed and their numbers will decrease. In this way, the fake signals traveling to the brain will diminish because the number of bacteria triggering sweet cravings will be reduced. Phase 2. Repairing the intestinal wall. So, how are we going to do this? The inside of the intestines is lined with a delicate barrier that prevents harmful substances from the outside world from passing into the blood. A poor diet loosens the bonds within this lining, and this is where the condition we call leaky gut occurs. It is a state where undigested food waste leaks into the bloodstream, which causes the immune system to go into alarm mode, and this event raises cortisol, leading to the destruction of metabolic flexibility. Providing certain amino acids will be beneficial to repair this wall. Phase 3 is the probiotic and prebiotic support that I heavily emphasize. Because, yes, we have reduced the harmful bacteria, but how are we going to increase the beneficial ones? Exactly through this support. Probiotics. They are live, friendly bacteria. Fermented foods such as high-quality homemade yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, or kombucha provide a live boost to our intestines and are excellent probiotic sources. Prebiotics, on the other hand, they are the foods that these friendly bacteria eat to survive and multiply. Friendly bacteria love soluble fibers the most. What are these? Foods like garlic, onions, leeks, artichokes, asparagus, and flax seeds are the microbiota's favorite foods. When beneficial bacteria consume these fibers, they produce short-chain fatty acids, SCFAs. These acids travel through the blood to your brain, trigger your leptin satiety hormone, and give you a deep, lasting feeling of fullness. There are also symbiotic foods. Symbiotic foods are those in which friendly bacteria beneficial to our body, namely probiotics, and the indigestible fibers that allow these bacteria to feed and grow prebiotics, coexist at the same time. The symbiotic effect, meaning when this duo comes together, vastly increases the survival chance of probiotics in the gut. To give examples of symbiotic combinations, yogurt/kefir, probiotic, plus banana/oats, prebiotic. A yogurt, probiotic, plus garlic/onion, prebiotic. Artichoke/asparagus, prebiotic, plus yogurt sauce, probiotic. A fermented pickles, probiotic, plus legumes, prebiotic. In this way, cleaning the flora by increasing the number of beneficial bacteria in the gut regulates the digestive system. It helps alleviate problems such as constipation, bloating, and gas. It strengthens immunity. Since a major part of the immune system is located in the intestines, a strong flora acts as a shield against diseases. It increases nutrient absorption. It supports better absorption of minerals such as calcium and magnesium by the body. The cleanliness of our intestines and microbiota even affects our mood at the same time. The hormone serotonin is known as the happiness hormone. And biochemically, the vast majority of serotonin in the body is produced by specialized cells in the intestines. If the intestines are overrun by harmful bacteria, inflammation occurs there, and beneficial bacteria cannot produce serotonin, which leads to a state of unprovoked malaise and a tendency toward anxiety. At the same time, the toxic effect here and the undigested food in the gut breach the intestinal lining, reach our brain through the blood, and trigger brain cells. The world of science calls this condition neuroinflammation. Brain fog occurs under the guise of an inability to focus and forgetfulness. This is actually the chaos in the second brain reflecting onto the first brain. One of the ways to cleanse the mind is a gut cleanse. When you take good care of the intestines, the quality of life increases immensely. You gain the habit of regular bowel movements, which is highly effective in digestion and happiness. The bloating attacks you experience after every meal will reduce significantly, provided you do not have a chronic illness. The mind clears and an unprovoked life energy and motivation arrive. Our appetite develops as it should. Biologically, we begin to perceive our real needs in a controlled manner. Instead of living by constantly depriving yourself of things, you realize the true biological freedom of your cells. Let's come to today's homework. You have learned about microbiota cleansing. So throughout this week, you will try to consume one different vegetable every day. And at the same time every day this week, you will add 1 glass of high-quality homemade kefir or 2 tablespoons of natural sauerkraut to your diet. In this way, by eating different types of vegetables and adding fermented products to your nutrition, it will be a week where you feed the beneficial bacterial species in your body. Do not forget to share with me in the comments below the video how many different vegetables you consume throughout the week. which fermented products you consumed, and the changes in yourself. May it be a week where you take good care of your intestines. Class dismissed. Lesson over.